Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide effortlessly through life, while others feel trapped, endlessly searching for a way out? What's their secret? It's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even better opportunities. The truth is far simpler and far more profound. The key to mastering life lies in one core principle: control. Control your words, and you can build bridges that connect you with others, or burn them down with a single careless phrase. Control your mind, and it becomes your greatest ally, or your most relentless enemy. Control your emotions, and they will either lead you to success or lead you astray. And money? Money can either liberate you or shackle you in chains you forged yourself. Here's the thing: if you can master these 4 areas of life, your mouth, your mind, your emotions, and your money, you don't just master yourself, you master life itself. But if you fail to control them, they will control you, dictating every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every opportunity you either seize or let slip away. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, revealing how to take charge of these 4 critical aspects of your life. By mastering your words, your thoughts, your feelings, and your finances, you'll unlock a life of purpose, balance, and true freedom. Stay with me. By the end of this video, not only will you understand these principles, but you'll also gain practical tools to apply them to your everyday life. And don't forget, share this message with the people you care about. Control isn't just about bettering yourself, it's about creating a ripple effect that improves the world around you. Your journey to self-mastery begins now. Let's start with the first principle: control your mouth. Your words are powerful. Once spoken, they are like arrows. They can hit the target, build bridges, or tear down walls. But here's the catch: they can never be taken back. The Stoics believe that our ability to control our speech isn't just a skill, it's a virtue. It's the foundation of harmony, trust, and respect, both within ourselves and in our relationships with others. Epictetus said it best: first, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. This simple but profound wisdom reminds us that words are not just sounds. They are reflections of our inner state, shaping how others perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. Yet in today's world, the power of words is often taken for granted. Let me ask you, how many times have you spoken without thinking, only to regret it later? Maybe you've said something hurtful to a loved one or fired off a message online in a moment of frustration. The words you choose don't just describe your reality, they create it. Think about it. When you repeatedly say, "I can't," "It's too hard," or "I'm unlucky," you're building a narrative of limitation. Over time, this narrative becomes your mindset, becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when you choose words of possibility, such as, "I will try," "I am learning," or "I am enough," you plant seeds of growth and confidence. This is the essence of self-control in speech, aligning your words with the life you want to create. And it doesn't stop there. In the age of social media, controlling your mouth extends beyond the spoken word. What you post online, your tweets, comments, and statuses, can have far-reaching consequences. A careless tweet or a hasty reply can destroy your reputation, damage relationships, and even affect your career. Have you ever posted something in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? How many bridges have been burned online because someone didn't pause to think? In the digital world, our words are amplified, making control over them more important than ever. Let's imagine an example. A professional, in a fit of anger, lashes out at a colleague during a meeting. Their words are sharp and cutting, leaving a wound that won't heal easily. Over time, this momentary lapse in control damages trust and erodes the collaborative spirit of the team. Now, picture the same situation, but this time, the professional remains composed. They pause, reflect, and respond with clarity and respect. The outcome is entirely different, isn't it? control your words, and you can shape your life in ways you never thought possible. But the journey doesn't end here. There are still 3 more areas we must master to truly unlock the life we deserve. Next, we'll delve into controlling your mind, and how your thoughts can either propel you forward or hold you back. Stay tuned as we discuss the importance of words. Let's now dive into another equally crucial element: controlling your mind. If words can build bridges or burn them, the mind is where every battle begins. Every decision, action, or emotion originates here, and it is from this very place that your ability to control will determine who you are and how far you can go. To master your mind, you must know when to pause and think. One of the core principles often emphasized by the Stoics is the ability to stop and reflect before acting. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This may seem simple, but that very act of restraint can create a huge difference between building or destroying, between fostering connection or creating division. When you feel yourself about to lose your temper, try this simple yet incredibly effective step: pause for 3 seconds. Let the heat of the moment pass, and let your rational mind take control. Then, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your words fail any of these tests, hold them back. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always have the option of having no opinion." There is no need to get worked up or trouble your soul over things you cannot control. Controlling your words is not just about how you speak to others, it's also about how you speak to yourself. Have you ever noticed how negative self-talk can profoundly impact your life? "I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. I'll never succeed." These thoughts, although fleeting, can have a devastating effect. Instead, practice affirming your strength. Replace negativity with intentional words of self-empowerment. "I am capable. I am learning and growing. This is difficult, but I can handle it." These affirmations may seem small, but over time, they will reshape your inner narrative, helping you build resilience and self-belief. Every word you speak sets off a ripple, whether in your family, your workplace, or your community. Imagine a leader uplifting their team with words of encouragement during a challenging project. Their belief in the team fuels motivation and collective success. Contrast this with a leader who constantly criticizes and blames. The ripple effect here is one of fear, distrust, and disengagement. This is the power of words and actions. The impact of your words isn't limited to just family or work. It extends to the community around you. Every word you speak is like a seed. It can either be a seed of doubt and negativity or a seed of encouragement and faith. Think of your life as a garden. If you continually plant seeds of growth, your garden will thrive, and success will flourish. But if you allow negativity and carelessness to dominate, the weeds will take over, and your garden will wither. Remember, you reap what you sow. Your mouth is not just a tool for communication, it is a powerful force for creation. By controlling your words, you not only shape your reality but also impact the lives of those around you. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Speak words that build, words that inspire, and words that reflect the strength of your character. Master your mouth, and you will have taken the first step toward mastering your life. And now, let's continue exploring the next step: controlling your mind, the real battlefield. As we continue to explore the power of self-control, let's now shift our focus to a crucial battleground: your mind. This is where victories are won, and defeats are decided. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless wisdom reminds us that while we cannot control the chaos of the world around us, we have complete control over the thoughts within us. Picture this. You wake up in the morning already feeling defeated. Maybe a sleepless night has left you exhausted. or the weight of yesterday's failures still lingers. The internal dialogue begins, setting the tone for the day ahead. Every task feels heavier, and every setback seems more overwhelming. Does this sound familiar? The way we start the day can often determine how the day unfolds. But what if, instead of succumbing to defeat, you chose to redirect your thoughts? This is where the art of controlling your mind comes into play, realizing that what you focus on expands. If you feed your mind with fear, doubt, and negativity, these will consume your actions and shape your reality. But, on the flip side, if you cultivate thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and resilience, you will begin to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. It's like turning a dark, stormy sky into a canvas of possibility. In our fast-paced modern world, the mind is under constant attack. The news cycles bombard us with fear. Social media fuels comparison and insecurity, and the ever-growing expectations of society demand more than ever before. Yet, the Stoics believed that no external force could truly control you unless you allowed it. They saw the mind as a fortress, capable of withstanding even the greatest storms, as long as it was fortified with discipline and wisdom. One of the most powerful tools for reclaiming control over your mind is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself thriving, overcoming the challenges that seem insurmountable today. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By training your mind to focus on success rather than failure, you pave the way for success to become your reality. Visualization is not mere daydreaming, it's mental preparation, a rehearsal for the greatness you're capable of achieving. However, controlling your mind doesn't mean pretending difficulties don't exist. Fear and doubt are very real, and they are part of the human experience. The Stoics didn't teach denial, they taught resilience. When fear arises, acknowledge it, let it pass through you like a wave, but don't let it take root. As Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction is a choice, and that choice lies entirely in your hands. Consider the story of a woman preparing for a marathon. Each morning, her alarm rings at 5 a.m. The warmth of her bed calls to her, tempting her to stay. Her mind whispers, "It's too cold, I'm too tired, I can skip today." But instead of giving in to hesitation, she replaces it with determination. Day after day, she pushes herself to train. On race day, she doesn't just cross the finish line, she conquers the doubt that once held her back. This is the power of the mind when it is disciplined. Guarding your mind is just as important as feeding it with the right thoughts. Think of your mind as a garden. If you allow weeds of negativity, gossip, pessimistic news, or toxic relationships to take root, they will choke out the flowers of growth and positivity. Just as a gardener prunes their plants, you must be selective about what you allow to grow in your mind. Limit your exposure to negativity. Surround yourself with people and experiences that challenge and inspire you. Fill your mind with books, podcasts, or conversations that align with your values and vision for life. This will ensure your mental garden is thriving. Journaling is another essential practice for mental clarity. Each morning or evening, take time to reflect on your thoughts. Write down your fears, your goals, your gratitude. This simple act of putting pen to paper helps to clear your mind and focus your thoughts on what truly matters. By consistently practicing these mental disciplines, you will strengthen your mind and take control of the greatest battlefield, the one that takes place inside you. Now that we've explored the power of mastering your mind, let's move on to the next step, controlling your emotions. This is where the real transformation begins. As we saw earlier, mastering the mind is the first step to inner peace. But another crucial factor is the ability to control emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that can either elevate or derail our lives. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight extends to our emotions. teaching us that while we cannot stop feelings from arising, we can choose how we respond to them. Imagine a man waking up, feeling overwhelmed by the responsibilities of the day ahead. His mind races with thoughts of unfinished tasks, financial worries, and personal struggles. But instead of letting these thoughts spiral, he sits quietly with his journal. He writes, "Today, I will focus on what I can control. I will do my best and let go of the rest." In this simple act, he shifts his mindset from anxiety to intention. Writing not only organizes the chaos in your mind but also allows you to confront and challenge limiting beliefs. It serves as a daily reset, reminding you of what truly matters. Imagine starting each day with a sense of renewal, a mindset ready to face any challenge. In today's digital age, mastering the mind becomes more challenging than ever. Social media, for example, thrives on our attention, pulling us into endless cycles of comparison and distraction. How often do we scroll aimlessly, only to feel drained and less confident afterward? This makes controlling our emotions all the more important. So, how can we maintain a steady mind in such a constantly changing world? The answer is setting boundaries. Limit your screen time. Create moments of stillness where your mind can recharge and refocus. Imagine that you could create a peaceful space in this chaotic world, where your mind can rejuvenate and be ready for any challenge. Meditation is a practice deeply aligned with Stoic principles. It's a space where you can observe your thoughts without judgment, a place where you learn to let go of what no longer serves you. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, also practiced meditation by reflecting on his values and actions every day. This daily habit helped him face the enormous challenges of ruling an empire with clarity and grace. Can you imagine that a few moments of meditation each morning could bring you peace and direction for the day ahead? We also cannot overlook the importance of the company you keep. The people around you influence your mindset more than you may realize. If you are constantly surrounded by those who focus on complaints and limitations, it's easy to adopt the same mindset. However, if you spend time with individuals who radiate positivity and determination, their energy becomes contagious. Choosing your environment carefully is one of the most powerful ways to change the way you think. It shapes your thoughts and, ultimately, your life. There is a phrase often repeated in Stoicism, "As a man thinketh, so is he." This is not just a philosophical ideal, it's a practical reality. Your thoughts dictate your actions, your habits, and the direction of your life. When you take control of your mind, you take control of your destiny. Ultimately, mastering the mind is not a one-time achievement, it's a daily practice. It shows up in the moments when doubt creeps in, and you choose faith; when fear arises, and you choose courage; when the noise of the world tries to drown you out, and you choose stillness. It is a commitment to yourself, a promise to rise above the chaos and create a life of meaning and intention. Master your mind, and you will not only conquer the internal battlefield but also find peace amid the external storms. This is the Stoic way, the path of wisdom, discipline, and unshakable strength. And from here, we will move into the third crucial step in the journey of mastering oneself: controlling your emotions. As we've discussed, emotions are powerful forces that can shape our lives. The Stoics believed that how we respond to emotions, rather than the emotions themselves, defines us. They taught that emotions are natural, but it's the story we attach to them that determines our fate. So, how can we steer through the storm of emotions without letting them drown us? Let's begin by looking at anger, one of the most common emotions that often leads to regret. Think about a time when a heated argument got out of hand. A friend of mine once shared how a disagreement with his partner escalated quickly. And before either of them knew it, words were exchanged in the heat of the moment. Those words left scars that took years to heal. Reflecting on that day, he realized that if he had paused for just a moment, taken a breath instead of reacting, it could have prevented so much pain. This is where the Stoic practice of emotional pausing becomes invaluable. when anger or frustration arises. The key is not to react immediately but to step back, breathe deeply, and allow the intensity of the moment to pass. Count to 10 if you need to. Remind yourself that your feelings are not permanent, they are just visitors passing through. This simple act of pause can make all the difference. Another powerful Stoic tool for navigating emotions is gratitude. Instead of focusing on what's wrong or what's missing, direct your attention to what's right. Every morning, take a moment to reflect on the blessings in your life, no matter how small they seem. This shift in focus will begin to reshape your perspective, softening the grip of negative emotions and reminding you of the good around you. In modern life, managing emotions has become even more complicated. Social media, for instance, often amplifies feelings of inadequacy, envy, or outrage. We scroll through curated glimpses of other people's lives and, without even realizing it, begin to feel like we're falling short. To counter this, set boundaries on your online time. Remind yourself, comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your own journey, not the illusion of someone else's highlight reel. Let's explore another emotion, fear. Fear is a primal instinct that was designed to protect us from danger. But in the modern world, it often holds us back. I once knew a young entrepreneur who hesitated for years before launching her business. She was afraid of failure, rejection, and judgment, but when she finally took the leap, she discovered that her fears had been exaggerated. The reality of pursuing her passion was far less daunting than the story she had created in her mind. This is a perfect example of the Stoic principle that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward despite it. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. By reframing fear as an opportunity for growth rather than a barrier, we can reclaim our power over it. Our emotions also shape the energy we bring into the world. Have you ever walked into a room carrying frustration or bitterness? You can feel the atmosphere shift, right? Negative energy spreads quickly. On the other hand, when you approach others with kindness, calm, and positivity, the energy changes. You create an environment of trust and optimism. This is the ripple effect of emotion. What you feel doesn't stay inside you, it ripples outward, affecting everyone around you. One of the best ways to understand and regulate your emotions is through journaling. Writing down what you're feeling, without judgment, creates a safe space for self-reflection. Over time, patterns will emerge, and you'll begin to identify which triggers repeatedly lead to certain emotional responses. This awareness is the first step in mastering your emotions. Another profound Stoic practice is negative visualization. This involves imagining the loss of things you hold dear, not to invite despair, but to appreciate them more fully. By considering the worst-case scenario, you learn to let go of unnecessary attachment and develop a sense of gratitude for the present moment. Imagine what it would be like to live with the awareness that all you have today could be gone tomorrow. How would that shift the way you treat your? Let's continue where we left off. Mastering emotions is only one part of the journey. Another significant area in life that requires careful navigation is money. Just as we steer through emotional storms, we must learn how to manage the financial waves that can often feel overwhelming. When we talk about money, there's a common misconception. We often hear it described as the root of all evil. But this is not entirely accurate. The philosopher Epictetus clarified this misunderstanding when he said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Money itself is neutral. It's neither inherently good nor bad. What truly matters is how we perceive and use it in our lives. For some, money is a powerful tool for freedom and generosity. It can help them create opportunities, live comfortably, and share with others. But for others, money becomes a prison. It traps them in a cycle of debt, stress, and unfulfilled desires. Picture a young professional, earning a stable income, yet still living paycheck to paycheck. Despite having a reliable salary, She's always one step behind. Her spending habits are impulsive, driven by social pressures, advertising, and the fleeting pleasure of instant gratification. "I deserve this," she often tells herself, justifying purchases that offer short-lived happiness but drain her finances. Over time, she feels trapped, unable to save, invest, or pursue her bigger goals. This situation is all too familiar for many of us. We've been taught to equate money with status, to buy things we don't really need, simply because they make us feel good in the moment. But Stoicism offers a different perspective. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This idea doesn't just apply to emotions, it's just as relevant when it comes to money. By shifting how we think about money, we can change our habits and regain control of our financial lives. A key first step in mastering your money is to understand where it's going. Most people don't track their spending. Money slips through their fingers unnoticed, month after month. But here's an exercise to try. For 1 month, write down every expense, no matter how small. This simple practice will reveal patterns you may have never noticed before. Small, recurring purchases that add up and drain your finances. As you review your spending, you may be surprised to discover areas where you could cut back or shift your priorities. This is where the power of intentionality comes in. Just as we must intentionally choose our emotional responses, we must also consciously decide where to direct our money. Imagine that each expense is a choice. Each dollar you spend represents a decision that shapes your future. In the same way that a sailor doesn't master his boat by avoiding the waves, we don't gain financial control by ignoring the reality of money. It's not about avoiding spending or burying our heads in the sand. Instead, it's about learning to navigate the financial currents with wisdom and clarity. The waves of money, like the waves of emotion, will always rise and fall. But it's how we choose to respond to them that matters. So, how do you steer through the financial waves? By practicing mindfulness, much like we do with our emotions. Pay attention to your spending habits and how they align with your values. Reflect on the bigger picture. How does each financial decision contribute to your long-term happiness and stability? When you change your perspective, you change the trajectory of your financial journey. Money, like emotions, is a tool. It's how you use it that will determine whether it becomes a source of peace or stress. With practice, patience, and a commitment to growth, you can regain control over your financial life, just as you can with your emotions. This is the Stoic way, not to deny the waves, but to ride them with purpose, balance, and grace. We just discussed how to take control of emotions and finances through managing spending habits and saving. However, in the journey to financial mastery, an essential tool that cannot be overlooked is budgeting, and it is not a restriction, but rather a roadmap guiding us toward financial freedom. Imagine you are drawing a map for your financial life, with categories like essential expenses, savings, investments, and discretionary spending. This is exactly how Stoic philosophers practiced discipline in their daily lives. And budgeting is the modern expression of that virtue. When you plan your spending, you not only take control of your finances but also shape your future. Now, let's consider a different scenario. A father in his 40s begins to feel the weight of financial responsibility. He dreams of sending his children to college, retiring without worry, and leaving behind a legacy. However, he is burdened with debt and lacks savings. Rather than giving in to despair, he decides to adopt a Stoic mindset. Focusing on what he can control, he creates a plan, paying off debt systematically, cutting unnecessary expenses, and building an emergency fund. Slowly but surely, his financial situation improves, and with it, his sense of purpose and security. Saving is not just about preparing for emergencies but about building a foundation for the future. Stoics believed in acting with foresight, anticipating challenges before they arise. Seneca once said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Saving helps you break free from the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck. You can start small by setting aside a percentage of your income each month. Over time, this habit becomes a powerful tool for stability and growth. Investing takes this principle further, enabling you to grow your wealth in alignment with your values. But be cautious, not every investment is worth pursuing. Avoid decisions driven by greed or fear, two emotions the Stoics warned against. Instead, seek knowledge, research thoroughly, and choose investments that reflect long-term goals rather than short-term gains. Impulse spending is a common obstacle to financial control. How often do we buy things we don't need? Driven by fleeting emotions? A sale tempts us, or a stressful day leads to retail therapy. These patterns trap us in a cycle of consumption, leaving little room for intentionality. The Stoics urged us to pause and reflect before acting. Epictetus advised, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money but subtract from your desires." Ask yourself before every purchase, does this add value to my life? If not, walk away. Minimalism aligns beautifully with Stoic principles. By simplifying your life and focusing on what truly matters, you reduce financial stress and increase contentment. Think about the possessions you value most often. It's not the quantity, but the meaning behind them that brings joy. Declutter your spending habits just like you would declutter your home. Let go of what doesn't serve your long-term vision. The people around us also influence our financial behavior. Spend time with those who value frugality, responsibility, and generosity, and their habits will inspire you. Conversely, associating with those who prioritize appearance over substance can lead to unnecessary competition and wasteful spending. Choose your financial role models wisely. They shape not only your actions but your aspirations. Generosity is a key aspect of financial control. The Stoics believed in contributing to the greater good, recognizing that wealth is a means to serve others. As we've seen so far, mastering money and emotions are key elements of living a life of intention and purpose. Now, let's explore how this mastery can extend beyond just ourselves, to create a ripple effect of positivity in the world. When you use your money to support causes, help those in need, or invest in your community's well-being, you're not just managing resources, you're creating a force for good. This transforms money from a source of anxiety into a source of meaning. It's about choosing purpose over excess, contribution over debt. Consider the legacy you want to leave behind. Is it a life marked by material excess and burdens of debt? Or one defined by purpose, kindness, and impact? By controlling your money, you gain the ability to make a difference, not only for yourself but for those who come after you. Money, in this sense, becomes a tool for positive change. Think about it. When you take charge of your financial future, you're also taking charge of the ripple effect that your decisions can have on others. The impact doesn't end with you, it spreads, touching lives far beyond your own. Daily rituals can reinforce this kind of financial discipline. Begin each morning by reviewing your budget and reflecting on your financial goals. End each day by noting your spending and asking yourself, did I use my money today in ways that align with my values? These simple habits help you create a foundation for intentional living. They are small but profound actions that guide you to live with purpose. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." In the context of money, this means aligning your financial habits with what you truly value. If your ambition is freedom, save and invest wisely. If it's to make an impact, use your wealth to uplift others. Whatever your vision may be, let your money work for you, not against you. Mastering your money doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, built upon small, steady steps. Tracking expenses, setting goals, practicing restraint, and embracing generosity. But as you take these steps, you will notice a shift. Money will no longer control you. Instead, it will become a tool for creating the life you desire. A life where freedom and discipline coexist in harmony. This is the Stoic way, living intentionally, using resources wisely, and finding both freedom and peace in that process. When you control your money, you will discover that true wealth is not measured by what you have but by how you live. Life is not about controlling everything around you, it's about mastering yourself. Through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, we've explored 4 pillars of self-control: your mouth, your mind, your emotions, and your money. Each one is an essential part of the foundation for a life of purpose, resilience, and peace. Master these pillars, and you will find that the world feels less chaotic and burdensome. It will become more aligned with your values. When you control your words, you build trust and understanding, creating meaningful connections rather than division. By mastering your thoughts, you shape a reality that is rooted in growth and possibility, rather than fear and doubt. Managing your emotions transforms turbulence into opportunities for grace and wisdom. And when you take charge of your finances, you unlock not just freedom, but the power to create and leave behind a meaningful legacy. But mastery is only half the story. True fulfillment comes when you share that mastery with the world. Start small, choose kindness in your words, patience in your reactions, and generosity in your actions. These small ripples, when combined, can create waves of change that extend far beyond yourself. As you reflect on these lessons, share your journey. What has challenged you? What have you learned along the way? By sharing your story, you not only inspire others, but you also cultivate gratitude for the progress you've made. Every small action matters. Begin today, because the world is watching, and it's ready to embrace the love and light that you bring.